I feel like I'd be the dad with all the answers, but I believe that there are some questions every parent dreads being asked by his son. For example, if my kid ever asked me where babies come from, I'd look him in the eye and say, "Shit, man, you don't know?" But then I have to gather myself and say, "Son, babies, like everything, come from an idea. And if he asked me if it was a good idea or a bad idea, I'd say the best." And I would let him know that he was born from fireworks and God made him after he saw the first rocket launching. And he'd say, "Dad, what does sex feel like?" And I would say, "Whoa, the fuck have you been watching?" Again, I'd have to gather myself and say, "Son, sex feels like riding your bike, except to the moon, listening to your favorite everything." And I'd let him know to make sure that you find the right bike and that you're ready to pedal to the moon because it's not a close trip. You might start off way too fast and get tired and wind up with someplace who doesn't care about you or your personal space, like Idaho. I heard that girls don't like fast or Idaho. Take your time. Move at God's speed. And when he says, "What does God look like?" I'll say, "He looks like you, just a lot less beautiful and carries less questions in his backpack." And he's going to say, "Is God a boy or a girl?" I'll say, "Yeah." He's going to ask me, "Dad, why?" And I'm going to say, "Keep asking." And he's going to say, "How do I stop getting old?" And I'm just like, "Don't stop laughing." He's going to say, "Are we there yet, Dad? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" And I'm going to say, "Son, if your feet are still touching the ground, then no, we are not. You know that we are there when flying becomes easier than falling, but I love you." And he's going to ask, "What does love look like?" And I'm going to say, "He looks like you, just less fancy." And he's going to say, "But you just got done telling me that it looked like God." And I'm going to say, "Exactly." With all of his God talk, he'll probably just ask something crazy like, "Who does God pray to?" And I'll tell him that God prays to bombs and bullets, begging them to reconsider their destiny, asking them to use their shell to build rocket ships or satellite dishes, telling them that crashing into stars feels a whole lot better than breaking into flesh. He's going to say, "Well, how do I pray then?" And I'll say, "Pray like you have a loaded AK pressed to your temple, held by a hungry kid with metal fingers. Hands up, knees to floor, give everything, take nothing. The universal sign of surrender." And after all of that, I hope he just says, "Okay, Dad." Because I want to be the one to answer all the questions when he has them. I never want him to think that Dad isn't Superman, but Superman had a hard time answering questions that reminded him that he was only half human. And just curious, but as a curious kid like me, raising a curious kid, how can he not be curious? So, leave it up to a poet to create something that leaves the dad with all the answers speechless.